Hi friends, it's Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have a card for you using some of the wonderful last chance items. If you haven't looked at the specials on Stampin' Up!, you just go to menu and specials. It might just come up automatically when you go to their webpage. You can see all kinds of items that are being retired soon as they sell out, in fact. And many are on discount. And the ones I'm going to show you today, along with a number of other stamp sets and papers, are on huge discounts. So you can get a lot more for your money these days, just perfect in time for taking them to the cottage or on vacation or just out to the picnic table and enjoying the beautiful weather. So let's get right to it. And today, this is our card. Isn't this cute? Look at this lovely mailbox just made with the dies. It is a simple stamping card. We're stamping one piece right here. All the rest is done with beautiful papers and die cutting. And this is a simple way to do ribbon that I'll show you as well. A number of items are on discount, and I'll tell you about those as we keep going. So this is the stamp set we're using today. It's called Sending Love, and you can see you can make a lovely mailbox. You can use all these different sentiments, and it's even got a postmark here that you can use. It's also got fantastic dies with it. These are the Sending Love dies. So this one here cuts out the mailbox that you see on the stamp set there. And the mailbox that we're doing today, you can cut out with these pieces. So I will be showing you those very shortly. I just wanted to let you know the Sending Love stamp set here, it is $20.40. So that's reduced from its original price of $34. So now it's just $20 and change. And the dies used to be $48. That's 48. You know how much they cost now? $14.40. So almost nothing. So these are a really good deal if you want to get them both. And then you can do all the coordinating things like the project I'm going to be doing here today. So let's get right to it, and we'll start with our die cutting. So I'm going to be using my little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here today. I'm just going to pull down the plates on either side. This is a super easy one to move around. It's so small. And it's very easy to use because all the instructions are right on the plates. Now you can see I've used my plates so many times that they're actually rubbing off. But they do have the instructions there, and they're easily found online as well. My plates are very weathered. This one's even got a cut in it, but they still work well. You can also buy replacements. I have replacements, but I have actually not started using them because these ones are still perfectly adequate. So let's go ahead and cut out all of our pieces. So let's try the mailbox here at first. So we're going to use this piece here. And I'm using a paper that's called Nature's Sweetness. Look at this pretty pattern we're going to have for that. So that is like some words, and then you've got this gold fleck on it as well. And Nature's Sweetness paper, every page has the gold detailing. So gold foil detailing, you can see the shine there. I'll just go through the patterns. This one's really shiny. And then that's the one we're using today for our little mailbox. There's another one with leaves. And this one is a nice kind of abstract grid pattern. And then this one with words on pebbled path as a background for the gray. And then I think we're back around to where we started. So really, really beautiful patterns. This paper is usually $23. It is on sale now for, I think, $13. I don't have that one written down, but it was 13 something, I'm sure. Oh yeah, there it is, $13.80. So almost $10 off. So it's a really nice paper as well. Now the trick to using this die, you would think that you'd want the writing or the pattern to go right side up on this part, but actually this is the part that wraps around. So that's the trick to cutting this out with the dies. If you want to do that with a pattern that has a right way up, make sure the right way up is in this part of the mailbox, this part down here. Yeah, so we're going to flip that over there, and we're going to put it through our cutter. Now this will only just fit through on the small machine here. It would be better to use the big one, but it's really hard to show you the big one when I'm doing this online. So I'm going to try it with my little machine here. Oops, I forgot to put the other plate on. So you basically make a sandwich. You put plate number 1, and you've got 2 plates number 2. So they're kind of like your bread. And then you put your paper and your die in between. Okay? So let's see if we can get this to work out for us. I hope this will do it. If not, I can go cut it on the bigger cutter and we'll do it that way. But I think this will work out okay. Let's see if I can just get that positioned properly. So I wanted to cut out all those pieces. And I think I'll just secure it with this washi. I always keep a little bit of old washi tape hanging around here so that it will hold my items in place if I need them to be stuck in place while I put it through the machine just before it grips. So let's see if this is going to work. I hope this will work out. If so, then you could do the whole package of dies with your little mini machine and you wouldn't need the big one. But let's see how I did with this. The sample card I made, I actually used the big machine. So let's see if it worked. Yeah, pretty good. So I'm just going to have to cut a little bit in a couple of places here to finish the image, but I think it should work out pretty well. All right, so where do I need to make those little cuts? Okay, so there's just a little touch right there. It didn't come off. And here on the edge is just to finish that curved part. There. So I just successfully used the little mini machine to do that die. So that means that this whole die set can be used with the mini machine. I always like to try them, even if it doesn't say that they can be used that way in the catalog or online, because I find a lot of them will actually work that way. Not all of them, but lots of times I've been successful in doing that. Okay, so that was our die for that one. So now we've got the top of the mailbox. Now we want to make the post, and that's going to be in early espresso. You can see I cut one out of this already, and I'm just going to use the other piece to do our next one now. So again, we're going to make our little sandwich, plate number 1 on the bottom. Then we're going to go plate number 2. We're going to put our paper in, and we're going to put this post. So it doesn't really matter how it's arranged, as long as you've got enough paper on there, you can run it through and it should work. So here we go. All right. So let's get this post through. Alrighty, there's the post. Perfect. And it also embosses it. Isn't that cute? With kind of a wood grain pattern. So there's our second piece. That's all done. And next, let's go ahead and cut our little flag. That's out of Moody Mauve, and this little heart, they're both Moody Mauve. And Moody Mauve is a color that actually retired earlier this spring. But there are a few items left. So in the discounted items in the last chance, you can find the Moody Mauve cardstock. It was still there right before I went live today. And you still can find the Moody Mauve ink pad, which we're also using today. In my videos, I like to use entirely Stampin' Up! Products, so you know you can get them. And if you need a demonstrator to help you, I'd be delighted. Then I can provide you with customer service and help answer your questions and so on. I really like this Moody Mauve. I'm very glad that it has a few items that are still left that you can get. So there's our little flag and our little heart. So I'm just going to put those over here and try not to lose those little teeny things. we'll put all these dies back on. I like to put them on as soon as I can after I use them so they don't go AWOL on me. So now the last thing to cut with these dies is this little letter. Isn't that the cutest little thing? I'm a letter writer. Maybe if you're a letter writer too, you can let me know. I know there's not a lot of us out there anymore, but I love to write letters and I have a lot of pen pals around the world. It's helped me to really get to know different places in the world, even if I can't visit them in person. I love this little letter detail here. Oh, whoops, I think I put that on upside down, so don't do that like me. So if you haven't done this before and put these on, these dies on, the side that you can feel a raised edge is the cutting edge. So you always want to have that edge down onto your paper and the flat edge facing up. So it's actually good that I did that so that you can see which way it goes if you haven't done this before. So there we go. All right, here we are. Okay, so here is our little letter. So that's over there too. And now we're going to use a different die set. So I'm going to put these aside. And again, these are on big sale. They used to cost $48. Now they're $14. That's 1-4. $14.40. So it's really, really a good deal. I can't say how much longer they'll be there. As soon as they sell out, you won't be able to get them anymore because they will be retiring. And I'm going to make a couple of circles out of my favorite, one of my favorite stamp set or die sets. And this one is called Stylish Shapes. And it's got nested circles, nested squares, nested labels with chevron shapes. And I find this to be one of the most useful sets that you can get. So I'm using those two middle-sized circles here. So there's two smaller and two bigger, and I've got these two middle ones. And I'm going to be doing one in white, the smaller in white, and I'm going to do a larger one in Moody Mauve with that paper that's on discount right now. And because Moody Mauve has already retired as a color, there are very few things left in Moody Mauve. So if you want Moody Mauve, now is the time to get it before it's sold out, because they will not be restocking that. All right, so here we go. And this is just a little tip as well. You can usually die cut a couple of things at the same time. Sometimes you can do several if you've got the bigger machine. And I find that to be a real time saver as well. Okay, so there are our items. And I will just show you the original card so you can see kind of where we've come and where we're going. I'm just putting away my die set here first so that we don't lose any of those. And let's make sure that we have all of our die cuts made now. I'm just going to fold up my machine again. So here are our die cuts that we needed to make. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I should have 7. Let's see if we got that many. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Perfect. We've got them all. All right, so let's do our stamping next, and then we'll get to all of the assembly. So here's the stamping. We're going to use that Moody Mauve discounted stamp pad. And we are just going to stamp one thing, and it's this one that says, "A little note to say I miss you," which is really nice. It just fits on this circle. So we'll have to just be careful how we stamp here. So let's see. We got it all coated up nicely. And let's see if we can line this up nicely on here. I just hold it down for a few seconds and lift up. And there's our little sentiment. Looks good. All right, perfect. So now we can keep going. I'm going to close up my ink pad right away to avoid an ink disaster there. And now we can go ahead and put all the pieces together. All right, so let's look at our card base first. So let's take our card base. This is just half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, and it's in crumb cake, which I find to be a very pretty color. It's one of those colors you can kind of dress up to make look very elegant, or dress down to be kind of rustic. And this card, I think, is kind of somewhere in between. It's pretty and rustic and elegant all at once. And this is a panel of Moody Mauve paper. I can give you the dimensions. I'll just measure it up down here. So it's 3 3/4 by 5. And this panel just fits on it with a little bit of a frame. And it is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 because it's a 1/4 inch shorter on each side. So let's just put this on. This is from the Wildly Flowering paper. And it is a beautiful paper that I've discovered kind of late. It's been out for quite a while. It's not retiring anytime soon, as far as I know. They haven't announced it's retiring. And I will show you the other patterns of it in just a moment. But first, let's take these dimensionals, which you also get from Stampin' Up. And they just pop everything up a slight bit, but not so much, usually, unless you use a whole lot of them, not so much that you can't mail it for the same price usually. But always check at the post office just in case. Okay, so let's put this on. And already we've got a pretty card, right? You really don't need a whole lot more on that, but we're going to fill in the gaps with our mailbox. Now this Wildly Flowering paper, so here's the one that we're using today. And this is another beautiful pattern. Look at this one, very nice. And this paper features all of those in colors, the 5 colors that actually were featured in the past 2 years at Stampin' Up! And have now retired, but you can still get this particular paper. And it's really beautiful. I have to say I love this. How lovely is that? Like, just the nicest tones. So you can still get that paper. It's $17 a package. All right, so let's put everything else together. Let's put our pieces together first. So we've got our 2 circles, and we're just going to connect those together. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. And if you haven't tried this glue, I find this to be a really good one from Stampin' Up! And you hardly need any. So you can see how little I put on there. And even that's probably more than I actually need. So it'll stick really hard. My daughter's used it on a light wood model that she has to make bookends, and it sticks really well on that light wood as well. So we've been very happy with that glue, and you really don't need much of it. All right, so there's that part. And now we're going to put together our mailbox. So it's got score lines right in it. I don't know if you can see them on the camera here, but if you start bending, you'll find out where those score lines are. And there's another score line down here. So there's how the mailbox goes together. So you could glue it this way with that tab inside or on the back. I'm going to put it on the back, and I'm just going to tape it actually with regular household tape because nobody's going to see that part. So it really doesn't matter what kind of adhesive you use on there. So I just use tape so I don't have to use my more expensive stuff like this that I get from Stampin' Up! And then we're going to take our post, and once again I'm just going to tape it onto the back because why not? You really don't need an expensive adhesive here to use, so you might as well just use the inexpensive tape that you have in your drawer already. So let's see if that is pretty straight. Yeah, I think it's not too bad. That looks pretty good. And now your mailbox is put together. So the next thing we're going to do is put together our letter. So again, it's got score lines, so you just fold on all the score lines. So I'm going to fold just to show you where they all are. Then I'm going to press them down. So that's really nice. Now we're going to press them really hard so that when we glue them, they won't pop up on us. And I'm using basic white cardstock. Stampin' Up! Has a couple of kinds. One is the basic white, and then there's a basic white thick cardstock. I wouldn't use the thick here because it'd be very hard to fold it down adequately. So here's how they fold in. So you've got the 2 sides folding in, and then you've got a side with a point and a side that has a flat part. See that there, how that's flat on the top there? So the flat part folds in, and then you fold down the part with the point so that it looks like a real envelope. But if you wanted to have it so it could open, then you would want it to be just glued like that so you could put something inside. Today we're not putting anything inside, so what we're going to do is actually glue down all those little flaps. So let's see what we can do here. Oh, I should say too, thank you for everybody who voted on which item to use in today's demonstration. Every Monday or Tuesday, I go on my Julie's Craft Attic Facebook page, and I put up a couple of ideas of which supplies I could use for the week when I do my demonstration. And I ask people to vote what they prefer me to do. And this week we had this stamp set, which is Sending Love. And there was also Cutest Cows, which is another one that's on big discount right now in the last chance list. And people went for Sending Love, this mailbox one. So that's why I'm using that today. But I would love to have you weigh in future weeks. Just come on Monday or Tuesday. I finish up with the voting usually on Wednesday, or through the summer it might be on Thursday. And then I'll be doing my videos during the summer on Fridays. And then you can always see them on replay. I post them on YouTube as well. And you can find them over at juliescraftattic.com. That's where I blog all of these projects. And if you want to get news about promotions and things that are coming up and all my classes that I offer online, please do sign up for my newsletter. There's a link right here in this post, and then I can send you my email newsletter. I try to send out at least once a week just to make sure that people are up to date. So there is our cute little envelope. Look at that. So now we're going to take our little heart here that's made from the Moody Mauve cardstock, and we are going to use a little glue dot to stick that on. You could use the white liquid glue as well, but I'm just going to use a glue dot to have it really convenient. That's where that is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put the little letter inside the mailbox. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to put a glue dot on the bottom of both sides of the back of the envelope because it'll stick in there and on this part. So we're just going to put a couple of those on. Alrighty. We're just going to position that kind of there. Very cute. Look at that. And then we've got our little flag. So there's a helpful little hole here, and that is where the flag goes on. Now, in the past, Stampin' Up! Had brads. You know, those little things you poke through and you kind of open up a little clasp, and then they stick on there and you could move the flag up and down. I don't see that Stampin' Up! Has any brads at the moment, but if you have a brad at home, you could just stick it through there and fasten it inside, and then your little flag would move. For this particular card, I'm just going to stick it straight on, so I'm not going to worry about that. But that's a possibility anyways. And it does look very cute. I've made cards like that in the past, and they looked really great. So we're just putting a little glue dot on there, and I'm going to have it at kind of a jaunty angle here. So saying that there is mail in the mailbox because your flag is up. So there we go. We've got all our pieces done now. So we just need to put them all together. So here we go. We are going to take our mailbox and put that on, and our circles with I miss you on. So I always like to position everything first. I never just put one thing on and then see if the other things fit. It's kind of a version of measure twice, cut once. So instead of measure twice, cut once, I'd say position twice and stick once. Otherwise, you can end up sticking and unsticking many, many times, I find. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know. So let's put some of these dimensionals on the back. By the way, I'd love to hear where you're watching from today. And if you are a card maker or a scrapbooker, Stampin' Up! Has recently really stepped up its scrapbooking game, and so there's a lot of scrapbooking products that they didn't have for quite a while. And they've got kits with full instructions, or you can just kind of do it your way, whatever way you like. And I like that they provide both options. There's lots of card making kits as well, or there's things that you can make from scratch like this. You can design them yourself like I did this today. Or you can have a fully designed kit with full instructions. All your things are cut out for you. You don't have to do any of this die cutting that I'm doing at all. So it all depends on whatever suits you. And I love that it's very customizable for anybody. All right, there we go. So let's put that on there. And then we have a couple of steps left. So one step is to use this basic beige bordered ribbon, which was $10.25 and now is last chance for $7.17. And all I'm going to do is just take a piece of this and tie it once. I'm going to leave it right on the spool, and I'm going to tie it once, just like that. Okay, and now I'm just going to trim it. And the reason I do that on the spool is I find I waste a lot less of my ribbon if I tie it while it's still attached to the spool, rather than trying to guess how much I'm really going to need later. Okay, there, I'll get rid of all the little bits of ribbon there that fell off when I did that. And then you can decide kind of which way you like the look of it. Let's see, maybe this way. All right, and we're going to stick that on with glue dots. I find, because liquid glue is very messy if you're trying to glue down fabric like this, I find the glue dots are definitely the way to go. So in all my classes, that's definitely what I do. All right, so there's my little flare of a ribbon there. And now we have one more step left, and that is to put this little embellishment on. And it is actually in Early Espresso to connect with the Early Espresso post. So we kind of bring it all together. And there's also Early Espresso here in the paper. And I should say that this paper actually formed the basis of the color scheme for my whole card, because the paper has Moody Mauve, you can see in my cardstocks here, and these elements. It has white, so I have white here as well. There is crumb cake in the background, and that's this color in the background of the paper. And then this is beige, so it's pretty close to crumb cake. And all the colors just coordinate. That's one of the real benefits I find of Stampin' Up! Is everything coordinates. And here is the embellishment we're going to use. It is Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequins. And these are also on sale. I don't have the price on them right here, but they're another one of those last chance items. I tried to use as many last chance sale items as I could in this project today to just kind of show you the whole breadth of all the things that are available. Because I find it's really great if you can get a good deal, especially if you have a lot of cards to make. So here are our two cards. They look pretty similar. And that is our project for today. I hope you enjoyed the project. If you don't have a demonstrator yet, I'd be delighted to help you. If you're anywhere in Canada, I have the ability to help you. I do have a team, a Creative Cafe team. If you're interested in joining us, we meet once a month, and we have a $15 a month optional card class that we do together. I've also got classes coming up that are takeaway classes, so you can do them on your own time. I'll just send you the packets, a nice goodie bag of $25 worth of extra stuff, and also all the pre-cut card packets, so you can just do them with the video whenever's convenient for you this summer. And if there's anything else I can help you with, please let me know. I would be delighted to meet you. All right, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.